Good morning, children. In the previous lecture, we talked about immunity. Children, you know that the overall ability of the host to fight the disease causing organism is said to be immunity, and it is done by our immune system. So, today we will discuss the two very important topics: immune system in a body and AIDS. Before discussing immune system in the body, I'll teach you one more important topic, that is autoimmunity. So, you should know what is autoimmunity. Earlier, we discussed about acquired immunity, and you know that acquired immunity is memory based immunity, while innate immunity is not the memory based, it is non specific immunity, right? So, we should know, first of all, we will discuss what is the meaning of autoimmunity. So, autoimmunity is the system of immune responses of an organism against its own healthy cells and tissue. Right? Means that when our immune system start damaging our own cells, then it is said to be autoimmunity. Okay? Auto means, you know, children, it is the meaning of auto is self. Okay, so any disease that results from such aberrant immune system, that is such defective immune system, those types of diseases, they are said to be autoimmune diseases. Okay, now children, you know that the immune system of body is able to identify and differentiate between self and non-self. Non-self, you know children, when any foreign substance enter inside a body like virus, bacteria, or any toxic substance, then it is said to be the non-self. Non-self means which is not present in a body, which is coming outside from a body, and self means which is already there in a body. So our immune system, you know children, it is capable of identifying both self and non-self. So due to some reason, it may be genetic or due to some main other reasons, the body start attacking its own cells, right? And this will lead to a very you can say very severe diseases, which are said to be autoimmune diseases. One example of autoimmune disease is rheumatoid arthritis, right? So this rheumatoid arthritis is due to autoimmune disease. Okay, now children, in this slide you are seeing the uh, different types of autoimmune diseases. Beside rheumatoid arthritis, many asthma, multiple sclerosis, Hashimoto diseases, right? Many eczemas, they are the example of autoimmune diseases. Now we will discuss a next topic, that is immune system in the body. Children, you all know what is the meaning of system. System means system, it is made up of organ, and organs, you know that they are made up of tissues, and tissues, they are made up of cells. Same way our immune system, it consists of lymphoid organs, and these lymphoid organs, they are made up of lymphoid tissues, and these lymphoid tissues, they are made up of cells, which are said to be lymphocytes. Beside this, many soluble molecules, they are also present, and these soluble molecules, they are said to be antibodies. In the previous lecture, we discussed in detail the structure of antibody. You know children, antibodies, they are nothing, they are proteins, right? Glycoproteins, they are, and antibodies interact with the antigen and they kill the antigen. In the previous lecture, we also discussed about that our immune system is very much unique because it recognizes the antigen, and when it recognizes the antigen, and after recognition it responds to that antigen, and it also remembers it. I told you that in acquired immunity is memory based. So our immune system is a unique system because it is capable of identifying the foreign substance, that may be microbe, virus, or any toxin, and after recognizing it start responding, and it also remember the antigens. Okay. Beside this, our immune system play a very important role in allergic reactions. Right? We have discussed in detail what are allergies and how these allergies they are caused, right? And autoimmune system and organ transplantation. All these we have discussed in the previous lecture. So today we will study about the different types of lymphoid organs. Now, lymphoid organs are these are the organs where origin and maturation, differentiation and proliferation of lymphocytes takes place. Is it clear? So if somebody asks what is lymphoid organ, you should capable of giving answer that these organs are those in which the origin means the these lymphocytes, they originate here, right? The formation of lymphocytes takes place in the lymphoid organ, and after formation, then the maturation takes place, and maturation, after that differentiation means the in any cells the various parts are there, and this is said to be the differentiation. So differentiation, and after differentiation, proliferation means they divide and redivide and increase in the number of cells. It is said to be the proliferation. So origin, maturation, differentiation and proliferation of lymphocytes, they occur in lymphoid organs. So lymphoid organs, they are very important part of our immune system. Now the lymphoid organ, they are classified into two types: primary lymphoid organs and secondary lymphoid organs. Okay, so this is very important. Sometime 1 mark question it comes from this primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ, that tell the name of primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ. So mark it important. So the primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus. Okay, these two organs, they are said to be the primary lymphoid organ. And why they are said to be the primary lymphoid organ? Because here the formation, differentiation and proliferation of lymphocytes takes place. Okay, and after maturation, lymphocyte from primary lymphoid organ, they transfer into the secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, so the two important organ, they are there which are said to be the primary lymphoid organ. They are namely bone marrow and thymus. Okay, now children, here in this diagram you are seeing the primary lymphoid organ and the secondary lymphoid organ. So thymus and bone marrow, they are very clearly visible in this diagram. So thymus and bone marrow, they are said to be the primary lymphoid organ, beside the spleen, right, which is present near the liver, Peyer's patch which are present in the intestine, right, they are said to be the secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, beside this tonsils you are seeing which are present near the salivary gland, tonsils, they are there in the diagram. Okay, and lymph nodes are also there. So these all are the secondary lymphoid organ. Now spleen, tonsil, lymph node, Peyer's patch, they are present in the small intestine and appendix. right? So here Peyer's patch is a new term, so you should remember this Peyer's patch. Beside the other things, the other organs you have heard earlier, but Peyer patch, it is new term, so mark it important. It is present in the small intestine and appendix, right? So these are the example of secondary lymphoid organ. And what is the function of secondary lymphoid organ? After maturation, the lymphocyte migrate to the secondary lymphoid organ, and here in the secondary lymphoid organ, these organs, they provide the site of interaction of lymphocyte with the antigen. Whenever any antigen or foreign material enter, or any foreign particle enter inside a body, these secondary lymphoid organ, they provide the site of interaction of lymphocytes with the antigen, right? As a result of which, when the site is provided, these lymphocyte, they again start proliferating, means dividing, right? And their number start increasing, and then they are said to be effector cells. Okay, so if we summarize it, we come to know that firstly, what happens in lymphoid organ, the lymphocytes are originate, they differentiate, they mature, and they proliferate, and after proliferation and maturation, they migrate to the secondary lymphoid organ, and in the secondary lymphoid organ, it provide the site of interaction of lymphocyte with antigens, and when antigen comes in the contact of the lymphocyte, these lymphocyte again they proliferate, and their number increases manifold, and now they are said to be the effector cells. Okay, so this is all about the secondary lymphoid organ. Now bone marrow, children, you know that it is the main lymphoid organ, right? So here the blood cells including lymphocyte, RBCs, you know children, RBCs, they are also produced in bone marrow. Bone marrow, it is present in the bones, especially in long bones, these bone marrow, it is present, and this bone marrow is the site for the production of red blood cells as well as lymphocytes. Now the thymus. The thymus, children, it is a lobed organ which is present near the heart, right, beneath the breastbone. If below the breastbone, you will see this thymus. And one peculiar thing is there about this thymus. During the time of birth, this thymus is quite large. Okay, please mark it important. This is very important for your examination, right? This thymus gland, during the time of birth, it is quite large, but it start reducing its size by the time puberty. Okay, so its size decreases as you reaches the age of puberty. So this question can be asked, name a gland which is quite large during the time of birth and whose size decreases when you reaches the time of puberty or the age of puberty. Then it is the thymus gland, and it become very much small at the age of puberty. Okay, so it is very important. So what is the function of these bone marrow and thymus? These bone marrow and thymus, they provide the microenvironment. So a very small environment is provided by these bone marrow and thymus for the development of T lymphocytes. You know, T lymphocytes, they are also said to be the helper cells. Okay, now we are going to discuss a next very important organ which is said to be the spleen, right? And what is a spleen? If you see, the spleen is a large bean shaped organ, right? And it contains lymphocytes and phagocyte, right? Mainly lymphocytes and phagocytes, they are present, and they act as a filter of the blood. It helps in filtering the blood, trapping blood-borne microorganism. Those microorganisms which are present in blood, it removes that organism from the blood, and hence it is said to be the large reservoir of erythrocytes. Erythrocytes, children, erythrocytes are also said to be the red blood cells. So it is a large reservoir of erythrocyte. So again, the spleen term, I think it is again new for you. So it is a bean shaped organ, keep this thing in mind, and it contains lymphocytes and phagocytes, and it also acts as a filter of the blood. And how it acts as a filter? By trapping the microorganisms which are present in the blood. Okay, now children, about the lymph nodes, lymph nodes, they are a small solid structure and they are located at different point. If you see in the shoulder region and your thigh region, many lymph nodes, they are there in the shoulder region as well as in the thigh region. Near the armpit and near the groin, you will see many lymph nodes, they are there. Now what is the function of these lymph nodes? These lymph nodes trap the antigens. Antigens, you all know, children, you all are familiar. Again and again this term is coming. So these antigens, they are the foreign particles which enter inside a body, right? So lymph node, they trap these antigens, right? And when they trap this antigens, then the lymphocytes, they become activated, right? And when they become activated, the immune response is there. Immune response means these lymphocytes, they fight with this antigens, means they produce antibodies, and these antibodies fight against this antigen by destroying them. So again, the lymph node, they are the very important secondary lymphoid organ. Okay, children. So here spleen diagram is there. It is clearly visible from this diagram. This is this bean shaped organ which is present beneath the breastbone. It is said to be the spleen. So this is the diagram of spleen. Now we will discuss about the lymphoid tissue. Children, system is made up of organ, and organ, they are made up of tissues. Okay, so now lymphoid tissues. These lymphoid tissues, they are located within the lining of respiratory, digestive and urogenital tract. Okay, now this lymphoid tissues, they are also said to be mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. Mark it important, children. Sometimes the full form of MALT, it is asked. Okay, so what is the full form of MALT? MALT is mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, right? And these tissue constitute about 50% of the lymphoid tissue present in a body. So it is very important that MALT constitute about 50% of the lymphoid tissues in human body. Okay, so again, in lymphoid organ and lymphoid tissue, we studied about the various types of lymphoid organ. Children, lymphoid organs, they are divided into primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ. The example of primary lymphoid organ, bone marrow and thymus, and the example of secondary lymphoid organ, they are lymph nodes, tonsils, spear patch, right? They are the examples of secondary lymphoid organ. Now the function of primary lymphoid organ, here the origin, maturation, differentiation and proliferation of lymphocytes takes place. And what is the function of secondary lymphoid organ? These secondary lymphoid organ, they provide site of the interaction of lymphocyte with the antigen, right? And when this antigen comes inside the body, these lymphocytes proliferate, resulting in the formation of effector cells, right? Then we discussed about bone marrow. Bone marrow, children, it is a very important lymphoid organ which results in the synthesis of lymphocytes. Beside this, thymus gland, it is very important because its size reduces by the age of puberty. Okay, now both bone marrow and thymus gland, they are responsible for the production of T lymphocytes, which are said to be the helper cell. Then we studied about the spleen. You know, children, spleen, which is present beneath the breastbone, and it is a large reservoir of erythrocyte. What is the function of the spleen? Spleen destroy the microorganisms, or it filter the blood, right? It acts as a very important filtering organ, and it filter the blood from the various microorganisms which are present in the blood. Okay, next we studied about the lymph nodes. These lymph nodes, they are very important because here they trap the antigen, and in response to this antigen, activation of lymphocytes takes place, and which is responsible for the cause of immune response. Then we discussed about lymphoid tissues, and we talked about MALT, which is mucosal associated lymphoid tissue, right? And it is very important to note here that 50% of the lymphoid tissue is made up of mucosal associated lymphoid tissues, and these tissues, they are located within the lining of respiratory, digestive and urogenital tracts. Okay, now here the immune system of the body is over. Now we will discuss the most deadly disease, that is AIDS. Okay, so here in this diagram the spleen is given, so this is the spleen. Now AIDS. You know, children, the full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So acquired means this disease is not congenital, means this disease is not present in the organism by birth. It is acquired during the lifetime, right? That is why acquired term is used here. Immunodeficiency means in this disease a immune system gets suppressed, right? So it is said to be immunodeficiency syndrome. Here you will see the symptoms of many diseases. Simultaneously, many symptoms of many diseases, they appear in the organism. That is why the word syndrome is there, right? So the full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. As this disease is acquired during the lifetime, the term acquired is used. It is very important to note here, children, that this disease is not congenital disease, right? Because it is acquired during the lifetime. Okay, so first case of AIDS, it was reported in the year 1981, right? And now this disease has spread all over the world, and it has killed almost 25 million person, right? Or more than this 25 million person. So now 1st December, you know, children, it is celebrated as World AIDS Day in order to aware people from this deadly disease. Okay, now AIDS, it is caused by a retrovirus, and the name of this retrovirus is human immune deficiency virus, or HIV. Okay, now children, you know that retroviruses, they have RNA as a genetic material. Okay, so here the virus genome, it contains RNA. Now here it is the structure of HIV virus. You are seeing here the structural proteins. All the viruses, they are surrounded by proteins, and they have their genetic material, either DNA or RNA. But retroviruses, they are the RNA viruses. So protein coat is there, and inside there is a genetic material, right? Now we will study the mode of transmission. You all are familiar about this disease, children. You studied about this disease in class 9th also. So if you are having sexual contact with the infected person, you may suffer from this disease, right? By transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products. If you are using, if suppose one person is suffering from a disease which is said to be the thalassemia, it is a genetic disease, thalassemia, and in this disease the periodic change of blood is required. So during the means when the transfusion of blood is there in the patient, sometime if that blood is not tested properly, then the person may suffer from this disease, or it may get infected from this, the virus of this disease. So while transfusion, it is very much necessary that it has been checked properly that whether the blood which we are transfusing to a person, it should be HIV negative. Okay, if you are sharing the infected needles, right, sometimes generally a drug addict, they share needle intra needles, right, and generally drug abusers, they use the intravenous needles and they share these needles with each other, so it may also cause this disease. And one very important cause of this disease is infected mother to her child through placenta, right. So through placenta, placenta, it is a tissue which helps in the exchange of material between the maternal blood and the fetal blood. So this disease is also transferred from placenta. If the mother is infected with HIV virus, this virus may infect the fetus, because through placenta it will transfer to the fetus. Okay, so these, though it is transferred to the fetus, yet in as I told you previously, that it is not a congenital disease, that is, it is not uh, present in a baby during the time of birth, as it is acquired during the lifetime. It means that somebody may ask the question that if it is transferring from placenta of mother to the baby, then the baby will be HIV positive. Yes, it will be HIV positive, but the symptom will appear later on during its life, not during the time of birth. That is why it is not said to be the congenital disease. Now, HIV transmission, here the unsafe sex, if you are using the multiple partner for sex, then the transmission of this disease takes place from infected mother to her child by using contaminated needles or by sharing the needles. And if you are receiving this blood or blood products, if they are transferred, then again this disease or transmission of this disease may take place. Now a very important topic, that is the life cycle of AIDS virus. Now in your NCERT book, one diagram is given. So here it become from that diagram, it will become more clearer to you the life cycle of AIDS virus. Children, I told you and I have shown you the diagram earlier that the AIDS virus is a retrovirus and it has protein coat along with the genome, which is made up of RNA, right? So when this virus enter inside the body of the host, right, only the RNA genome it get enter inside the body, while the protein coat or the capsid of protein, it remain outside the cell. Okay, only viral DNA, it get enter inside the body. So after getting into the body, the virus enters into macrophages or T helper cell. So when it enters inside a body, it attack the T lymphocytes or macrophages or T lymphocyte cells. It does not attack rest of the cells. When along with the bloodstream, it goes to the bone marrow or at that part where the macrophages and T lymphocytes they are there, and it will infect only T lymphocytes and macrophages. So, and children, T lymphocytes and macrophages, they are also cell and they have all the structures of cell, that is nucleus will be there, plasma membrane will be there, and all other cytoplasm will be there, and all other organelles they are also there as they are cell. Now the viral genome replicate here when it enters the T lymphocyte or macrophages, right? It start replicating there, right? So one thing is very important here, when it enter inside the T lymphocyte or macrophages cell, right? Firstly, the RNA get converted into DNA, right? As you know, children, the animal cell genome, it consists of DNA, right? So first of all, what happens, the viral RNA get converted into DNA, and the process of converting of viral DNA or into viral RNA into viral DNA is said to be reverse transcription, right? In biotechnology, I'll tell you about the transcription. So what is transcription? Formation of RNA from DNA. But here the reverse process is taking place, that is DNA is forming from RNA, so term reverse transcription is used here, and it takes place in the presence of one enzyme which is said to be reverse transcriptase, right? So after entering inside the animal cell, first the viral RNA get transcribed into DNA, right? And this takes place by the process of reverse transcription and in the presence of enzyme which is said to be reverse transcriptase. After that, this viral DNA, it incorporates into the host genome, right? You know, children, in any cell nucleus is there, and in nucleus chromatin network is there, and chromatin network, you children know that it is made up of DNA. Okay, so this viral DNA, that means the DNA of HIV virus, it incorporate into the host DNA. Now when it incorporate into the host DNA, after some time the new viral RNA, now again the transcription takes place. Earlier reverse transcription takes place, now here the transcription takes place. Now this viral DNA will get converted into RNA now again, and this RNA get surrounded by a protein coat. Now it is a virus particle. You know, children, RNA genome along with the protein coat, it will become virus particle. Now the new viruses, they are produced. Now these new viruses again will affect other macrophages and T lymphocytes. Again the same process will start, and they will produce more viral particle, and again they will produce more and more viral particle, and the number of virus particle after some time it will increase many fold. Okay, and this, as these viral particles, they are infecting the macrophages and T lymphocytes, the number of these macrophages and T lymphocytes will start decreasing. So that, and when these macrophages and T lymphocytes, you know, children, they play very important role in our immune system. So when they will get infected and they will start destroying, then what will happen? Our immune system will become weak, right? And when our immune system will become weak, then any antigen or foreign material or foreign particle will enter inside our body. The immune system, as it is weak, so it will not be capable of forming the proper amount of antibodies, and we will get diseased. Okay, and many diseases will occur simultaneously in a single organisms, which will lead to the weakening of the body weight loss will be there, and ultimately when our immune system become very much weak and most of the macrophages and T lymphocytes, they will get destroyed, then death will take place. Okay, now so this much about the how this AIDS virus affect us. So what symptoms will be appear when this AIDS virus will infect a body? Actually, AIDS virus is not causing any type of disease. It is just destroying or damaging our immune system by damaging macrophages and T lymphocytes, and I told you T lymphocytes play very important role in our immune system. Okay, so it will affect T helper lymphocytes. So this is very important question for your NEET examination as well as for your board examination, that AIDS virus affect T helper lymphocytes as well as macrophages. And when the number of macrophages and T lymphocytes, it will decrease, what will happen? The person will suffer from bouts of fever, diarrhea will be there, weight loss. If these symptoms they are there, that means some problem is there, and you have to, if suppose if any disease is there and it is taking very much long time to cure, that means some problem is there, and you have to go to doctor, and he will diagnose whether you are suffering from AIDS or not by the test which is said to be the ELISA test, right? This is very common, so you all are familiar with this test. Now full form of ELISA, it is enzyme linked immune sorbent assay. Okay, enzyme linked immune sorbent assay. So this is very important. So full form of this ELISA test you should know, it can come in your examination. So if the AIDS virus is there in your body, means death will take place definitely, right? Any drug is not there to protect you from this disease, but certain retroviral drugs they are there which can increase our lifetime by decreasing the number of viral particles which are producing in a body, right? So if the less viral particle will be produced, so they will decrease, so they will destroy less number of macrophages and T lymphocytes. Now children, when your body become weak due to the infection of this virus, many bacterium like mycobacterium and many fungi and parasite like toxoplasma, they will be able to attack your body easily. Okay, so as your body become very weak. Okay, now here the diagram is there. So as I told you earlier, so here you say that you are seeing that it is a retrovirus. This viral RNA core is there. Okay, and this is RNA genome. Okay, this is RNA, and this round circle, this is viral protein coat. Now this viral virus is entering inside the body of the host. Here only the RNA genome, it is entered, right? And this RNA, by the process of reverse transcription, it is converting into DNA. So this is DNA. Okay, this is DNA. Now this DNA is incorporating itself into the host DNA. This is host DNA, right? And this infected DNA, now new viruses will be produced, and these new viruses will affect the other cells. So this diagram is very important. The labeling is also very important. Reverse transcription process is again very important. That what is reverse transcription, how RNA is converted into DNA, by which process, and the name of the enzyme reverse transcriptase, it is also very important, right? So you have to learn this diagram along with the labeling. Now prevention of AIDS. So if prevention means, if what are the causes of AIDS, if you are not doing all those things, then you will be prevented from the AIDS. That means if you are, whenever you are using the blood, if you are very careful about it, that the blood which you are getting from the blood bank, it is HIV negative or not, or if any other person is giving blood to you, that first of all it should be tested that whether it is HIV positive or HIV negative, right? So you must be aware about it while during the transfusion of blood, right? You don't have to share the disposable, you also have to you always, sorry, you always have to use the disposable needles, right? You don't have to share your needles with the other person, right? So later on I'll tell you that how this NACO, it along with the NGOs, they are helping people. So by using the contraceptive device also like condoms, you can also prevent yourself from disease, and by preventing the drug abuse, right? If you are drug addict and you are sharing the needle with the other person, then you may suffer from this disease. So prevention, children, it is better than cure. As you know, children, the cure of this disease is not there, so you have to prevent it, right? Children in a country, the National AIDS Control Organization, NACO, right, it is playing very very important role for making aware people from this disease, and many non governmental organization, they are working together and they are doing lot in the field to educate people about the AIDS. Because if you go to the tribal area and in the villages nowadays also, people, they are not very much aware about this disease. So these organization, they are playing very important role in educating people about this disease, about the spreading of infection, how this infection spread and how it can be prevented. They are also distributing free condoms to make them aware about the use of contraceptive and how these contraceptive prevent or protect a person from this disease. Okay, so this much about AIDS, children. I think both the topic immune system in a body and AIDS, it is clear to you, right? This much for today. Thank you very much.